Hey guys, this is Dan with Gears and Gadgets. Thanks for tuning in. So I'm coming to you guys with another update on the Harley-Davidson overheating videos that I put out. I had kind of a two-parter, which this has been really interesting. So first and foremost, I want to say that to anybody out there that thought that maybe I was saying this is like a Harley-Davidson problem, I am not saying that. I actually have no idea at this point, but I'm starting to think I know what's going on here. I'll get into that in a moment. Also, I had mentioned that I had the ultra cool oil cooler on here, and that I thought that maybe that had something to maybe do with it originally, but that also does not appear to be the case. Thanks to you guys with the comment section, which is awesome. A few people said, hey, you know, contact John Maxwell or contact Kevin Baxter, and I'm like, well, I can get a hold of John. Who the hell's this Kevin Baxter guy? Never heard of him. That's kind of what I love about YouTube, is that it's such a large community, and with that, I don't know everybody on YouTube. I just, you know, you stumble across the content that you stumble across, and luckily for me, Kevin Baxter is an awesome dude. So I reached out to him thanks to you guys. He's a tuner, performance bike building, you know, he's into automotive, the whole thing. You can check out his YouTube channel, which I will link up above here if you've never heard of him. And I did also reach out to John, who's super busy, and I try not to do that because, again, I know he's super busy. His first input was, well, you know, Harley-Davidson only has an engine temperature sensor. They don't have a head temperature sensor. So his whole thing was, what is the data if, you know, if it's pulling information, where is it getting that information from, which is the most important thing. I reached out to DynoJet. They said the temperatures that I was seeing in the 310 range, you know, really wasn't a big deal. They didn't seem too worried about it. But again, I'm just very interested in what's going on, so I thought I would reach out and try to figure it out. Yeah, so people said, hey, get a hold of Kevin. I bet you he'll be able to help you out. So I shot him an email and said, hey, if you want to take a look at the video I did, I'd be interested to have your input. He actually called me, and we had a great conversation, and he watched the video, and right off the bat, he's like, well, you know, I'm pretty confident to tell you that what's probably happening is that the load on the bike is, in certain ranges, just getting to the point where it's pulling too much fuel out, and you have to give it more fuel to cool the motor down. So that's what I'm out testing right now. This is not an update video necessarily, because I'm out running actual tests as we speak. But what this is just letting you guys know that I could have took this bike to a shop, and maybe I do, who knows. But at the end of the day, I like to tinker with this stuff. The one thing I was scared to tinker with was the tuning. And speaking with Kevin, he basically told me, dude, you kind of already are there. You know, you take a look at the video with the overlays, and, you know, you're correlating that data. He's like, it's not that scary. So he kind of walked me through it a little bit, and it was really awesome because we're both YouTubers, and we got to kind of geek out on that a little bit. And then he's a tuner, and, you know, I've got the DynoJet, and the conversation back and forth, and it was just really an awesome conversation that, you know, it's rare when you get to kind of geek out like that with somebody that's just kind of overlapping in so many different kind of spaces. So with that being said, he did send me over some air fuel maps, and I tinkered with that a little bit. As of today, I went even a step further. I took the bike out and tested his, and I tinkered with it a little bit, and kind of here we are. So essentially what's happening is, look, I'm out here in Arizona. I've seen people who are like, dude, you're going 80 miles an hour, slow down. Yeah, if I slow down the map, KPA, on this bike, if I drop down without getting run over here, down to 65 miles per hour here, and set cruise control, I'm at 35 kPa, and you know, I'll be lucky not to get run over. So if I run at those slower speeds, the bike's not going to probably have any issues staying cooler because it's not under as much load. When you get up to 80 miles an hour and and you're cruising at 2,800 RPM, which, depending on if I'm hitting hills or slopes, with all the data that I'm looking at here, it's anywhere between like high 2,800 into just getting over 3,000 RPM. It's a higher load. Again, back down to 65, and you're 2,300 RPM. So, I mean, you're 700 RPM lower, and the load on the bike is much less. So, what's basically believed to be happening here is that the map on this dyno jet is set up to just run too lean when it's in that range, because it's just kind of how the map is set up. So today I'm actually kind of in my own little world of exploration. So tomorrow I'm actually going to go and do an actual test run of the map that he had sent over to me, and let him see that data, and we'll go from there. But it's just really interesting with the way these bikes are set up, the amount of information, all those tables and data. You can really just fine-tune these things like an instrument, and it's just amazing how much it seems to work. So just so you guys can see right now, what I did with this map that I'm running a test on as we speak is I'm running here 80 miles an hour. It is 70 degrees out right now, 66, so still rather chilly, but I'm running with my feet up on the passenger pegs, and I basically just told the map to just give it more fuel, richen it up in this 2,900 or 3,000 range. So that is what it's doing, and theoretically it should run cooler. But again, I'm still playing with it. There's also a possibility that everything I'm saying right now is wrong. Keep in mind, as I'm saying here, that talking to Kevin was a little bit of an entry into getting into things that I've never talked about or dealt with before and had virtually no understanding of. But now Pandora's box is open, and I'm out here custom dyno tuning my bike. So what's the worst that can happen? Don't answer that in the comments down below. I can only imagine. But I'm just out here, guys, running these tests, playing around with the dyno tune. You know, for the most part, when it came to this DynoJet Power Vision, when they sent it out, when I asked for it for a review, they sent it out. I just did kind of the canned Dynatune tune to the bike, and that worked out fine. I loved it. As a matter of fact, it changed the dynamic of this bike completely. Then I put the Tab Performance pipes on there, and then I put the oil cooler on there. You know, I've been tinkering with the bike, so it's time for me to start playing a little bit more with some of the tuning aspects, I suppose you'd say, of the bike, and stop being such a wuss. And that's what I'm here to do. So I'm super pumped today. My Buffalo Bills beat the Colts to advance in the playoffs. It's been a long time coming. The last time that the Bills were making a run in the playoffs, I was probably 10 years old. So it's been a bit, and I'm super pumped for what's happening there. It's also why I basically for today was just monkeying with maps on the computer as I was watching the game, and I came out here afterwards to run some tests. And as of right now, I'm actually pretty happy. The rear passenger peg position that I was running in previously was where the temperatures would spike 310-ish engine temperature. Right now it's 300, and the whole time I've been yammering, it's been in that position. So it looks like I am getting some better results. It's still kind of creeping up there, but there's also a potential that maybe I just need to adjust some riding, the way that I ride a little bit. But I'm a rider that likes to ride through traffic. I don't like to be sitting at the same speed with everybody else. Even now at 70, you know, people passing me on the left, people kind of creeping up in my mirror on the right. I'm not super comfortable, and then I'm kind of stuck in this little area I like to just kind of ride around this type of stuff and just get out of it. So I am going to do that. Testing be damned. So with that being said, guys, again, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the comments. I said, hey, I could take the bike to the shop, have somebody look at it, go through all that, and not produce any content, but what fun would that be? So with that being said, I'm going to dip out of this one. I will be back, I think, next week with hopefully a bit of a wrap-up to where I'm at with this bike. Thank you very much, Kevin. The conversation was awesome. Really appreciate it. And with that being said, guys, if this is your first time tuning in, please hit the subscribe button down below. Remember, likes go a long way to help support the channel. I'll see you guys next time.